Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
I am Tayo Salam. Many thanks for joining us again. All right, this is what the show looks like. We're starting, of course, the Nigerian Professional Football League is going to get us talking again. Match day 14, we're going to be doing a comprehensive preview of all those matches later on. Of course, the big matchup, Cecilia, is between
Kano Pillars and Rangers International. We're all waiting and anticipating to see how that game will go.
Out.
Okay, also on the program, unwanted record at Anfield. Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp, he has created a kind of a record that they wouldn't want to have. For the 5th time in a row, Liverpool losing at Anfield. And the story right now is this is the first time it's happening in their history.
Very, very bad record for Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool. And safe to say Jurgen Klopp is walking alone at the minute. Also on the show, this time around, we're going to the UFC 259, where Nigeria's Israel Adesanya will be chasing history when it takes on Jan Blachowicz in a light heavyweight title clash at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. Is aiming to become the 5th fighter in UFC history to win 2 titles
in different divisions.
Exactly, 2 titles at the same time.
Okay. All right, we'll wait. We'll definitely wait for that. It's going to happen on Saturday night.
Saturday night, Las Vegas, early morning, Nigerian time.
Okay, but we're not starting with that this morning. We're starting with, of course, the NBA, taking a look at some results on the 9th. And, of course, we'll look at the NBA All-Stars. It's this weekend. Just no longer weekend, just one day, one night. Come on. Okay.
So it should be very interesting indeed. But before we go to reveal who Giannis, KD, and LeBron James have chosen their rosters. Let's look at some of the results of the games played. First of all, the Raptors and the Celtics, it was 132 to 125 in favor of Boston. Jason Tatum with 27 points and 12 rebounds in that particular game. The Celtics have won 4 straight games. The Clippers lost against the Washington Wizards 117 to 119.
You have to put again there.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
I need to hear that.
Bradley Beal was the star of the show, 33 points on the night. For the Clippers, they were missing Paul George, who was scratched from the game very, very late. The Pistons and the Knicks ended 114 to 104 in favor of New York. Julius Randle, 27 points, 16 rebounds, and 7 assists in that victory. So the Knicks go into the All-Star break with a winning record. And they continue like this, Cecilia, they might just be making the playoffs.
Of course.
All right, let's go on to the Nuggets and the Pacers. Ended 113 to 103 in favor of Denver. Michael Porter Jr., 24 points and 11 rebounds on the night. Somehow was able to outshine Nikola Jokic in that victory for Denver. The Bucks and the Grizzlies, the most dramatic game of the night, ended 112 to 111 in favor of Milwaukee. Drew Holiday making 11-foot baseline jumper with just 2 seconds remaining on the clock, and that's how Milwaukee were able to secure that 1-point victory, Cecilia. They
actually needed that going into the All-Star break, definitely.
All right, Jimmy Butler is showing out. Has been showing out recently. Took over late in the game against the New Orleans Pelicans. Finished with 29 points and 9 assists. As Miami took advantage of the absence of Zion Williamson to beat the New Orleans Pelicans 103 to 93. OKC Thunder 107 to 102 over the San Antonio Spurs. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 33 points on the night. The Blazers, of course, where would they be without Damian Lillard?
44.
They defeated the Sacramento Kings. That toppled them 123 to 119. Like Cecilia said, 44 points from
8 3-pointers.
Yeah,
how dominant can that be?
What a player! What a player! Anyways, last but not the least, is the Suns and the Warriors. Cecilia.
Okay.
120 98 in favor of Phoenix. Phoenix is so hot right now. They absolutely burned the Golden State Warriors on the night for their 16th win in 19 games. One of the most informed, actually the most informed side going into the All-Star break.
Right now.
So that's a thing to really watch out for after what happened in the bubble last time out, where they won all the games but still couldn't make the playoffs.
Okay.
All right. So before we leave basketball, Cecilia, you mentioned the top performers, the guys that stood out, very interesting names. Apart from Damian Lillard, Cecilia, all these other guys young stars that have bright futures.
Of course.
I'm talking about the likes of De'Aaron Fox for the Sacramento Kings. 32, 8, and 12 on the night, but it wasn't a losing effort.
Because he's playing against someone who can put up 40, 50 points in the night.
There you go.
Damian Lillard.
Unfortunate for De'Aaron Fox, of course.
Yes.
That's Damian. Dame time, 44, 1, and 7 for Dame time. Also making the short list is Shia
he's been
Gilgeous-Alexander.
consistent for OKC this time around.
Yes,
I
instead
mean,
of the game.
consistent.
33, 3, and
And
6. 8. All right. Last but not the least is John Morant. Of course, Cecilia.
Where's Bradley Beal?
Bradley Beal. Yeah.
Where's he?
I just decided to.
Okay, yeah.
Let's
got 35 on the night for
light.
domestic, so.
Let's shine light on the newbies.
Yeah.
On the young guys.
Yeah.
And Ja Morant, of course, he's having a fantastic sophomore season, and no surprises at all. He somehow found his way to be on this list quite on a consistent basis, I have to say. All right, so that's it for the NBA, but we're not leaving the NBA just yet. Quickly, Cecilia mentioned the All-Star break, just one this time around because of COVID.
Yeah.
So everything has been compressed into Sunday.
Just Sunday.
We're going to get to see the 3-point shooting contest, going to see the skills challenge, dunk contest during halftime.
And of course, the main match.
Actual game. And
okay.
We know the identity of who's going to go up against who now after LeBron James and Kevin Durant drafted their players early this morning. For Team LeBron, Cecilia.
Yeah, Giannis, of course, he picked him first.
Of course,
and followed by Steph
pick.
Curry.
Steph.
Luka Doncic.
Right.
Nikola Jokic. Those are the guys that are starting.
Damian
including
Lillard.
LeBron. Those are the
reserves.
bench guys.
Yeah. You also have Ben Simmons, Chris Paul, Jaylen Brown. All these guys absolutely deserve
Rudy
to
Gobert
be
is also
on
part
his
of
roster
that.
as well. Too. You can say that. There's also
Domantas
Paul
Sabonis.
George
Yeah.
as well. And Domantas Sabonis, that's for Team LeBron. Let's go on to Team Kevin Durant. Of course, KD is out of this game.
Nursing an injury.
Because of injury. So
but he's the captain, so you have to pick the players.
Exactly. He still had a job to do, and he's done that very well, I have to say. Of course, picking first.
Not surprised. That was his
teammates, Kyrie Irving.
Joel Embiid.
Of course, Joel, Kawhi, Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum. Of course, James Harden is somewhere in there as well, too, as a reserve. As well.
Devin Booker, Julius Randle, and of course, Donovan Mitchell are the guys completing all that in the All-Star. So this weekend, LeBron James have actually won the past 3 All-Star games.
Yeah.
So we'll see who's going to win it again.
Yeah,
Last result was 157-155.
That was quite exciting.
So it's another high-scoring game this weekend.
Definitely.
Because all the stars putting on some big numbers.
Yeah.
But for now, we'll be talking cycling. I mean, we know International Women's Day is going to be on Monday. And of course, I mean, there's so many events to mark it. And one of them will be Women's Ride on Saturday. I mean, those organizing it will be joining us after this short break. All right, we saw pictures, from there and all that, and of course, this is how it's going to be on Saturday. It's not just about riding, celebrating women through cycling, but it's also to kind of promote the sport among women. We know cycling is not a sport that most ladies really want to go into. I mean, it's more popular. When I'm talking about professional cycling right now, I mean, the Tour de France and all that, but how many big tournaments that you have, big prize money and very popular that you have among ladies? You can barely count a few, right?
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about Nigerians being very capable of being involved in multi-sports.
Yeah.
That's because we're generally a sporty people. So why not cycling? Why can we start promoting cycling to the point where we start to represent the country on the international stage? So that's why I'm very eager to get to hear from the organizers what the plans are for tomorrow and, of course, for subsequent developments of the sport. Yeah,
of course, we can wait for that. Adeola will be joining us right about now to talk more about this. Adeola, good morning. It's good to have you join us. Okay, we know International Women's Day, of course, is going to be on Monday, but on Saturday, of course, you guys decided to come up with this cycling. Tell us, why did you have to come up with it at this time? What's the purpose? What's the aim?
Thanks. So really, we haven't had this event before, and it's the first time we're highlighting women in cycling and some of the issues and barriers that they've come through just to join the sport. It's actually a very male-dominated sport. As you mentioned, Tour de France, for example, doesn't have any female teams competing. So we really want to use this as an opportunity to bring awareness to women in general, and particularly for us women in cycling.
So, Adeola, how many participants are we expecting at this event? I mean, is it going to be annual after this? Because you said this is the maiden edition, and what are the other things attached to it?
Yeah, so this is the first time we're doing it. Because of the pandemic, we had to restrict the participants to just our current members. So we're expecting somewhere between 20 to 30 women participating, women from all walks of life, different ages, different cycling abilities. And we're hopeful that in the future, the other editions will include women from other cycling clubs and women from the general public.
Right. I mean, you mentioned the fact that, I mean, because of COVID-19, you had to restrict the numbers. So how are you going to follow the protocols? I know it's 20 to 30, which is not much, but you have to face mask, social distances and all this stuff. How are you guys going to arrange it to ensure that the COVID-19 protocol is duly observed?
Yeah, so the cycling club, Psychology Cycling Club, has COVID protocols in place already, and they're very much in line with the state requirements. So what we do is when we gather in the morning, everybody has a face mask. Cycling in general is a very low transmission sport, so while you're cycling, you don't have to wear a face mask if you're not comfortable, because when you're moving, the air around you is moving as well, and the transmission rate is very low. When we stop for breaks, for water, for rest, we wear masks as well.
It's very important all the protocols are followed, definitely, Adeola. Take us through the routes as well. I mean, where is this ride going to be going through?
So we are going to actually go from the island to the mainland. We're going to cross Third Mainland Bridge and come back, and then we'll ride a little bit more on the island as well. We are actually doing this ride at a very comfortable pace to accommodate all the ladies' different cycling abilities. We have some ladies that haven't ridden in a while, and some are new relatively to the sport, and we have some people that have had experience. So the ride is really going to be conducted in such a way that everybody that comes out for the ride is comfortable.
Interesting.
Yeah,
which is really cool. You just mentioned quickly before we wrap up this segment. You just mentioned that you have some experienced cyclists that will be taking part. How many do you have in this regard, and how can we really grow the sport in Nigeria to have more women wanting to cycle?
Yeah, so we have some people that have ridden for 10 years, and we have some professional cyclists as well that will be accompanying us on the ride. It is very much at the grassroots level at this point. And, we're a social club, but we do play our part as far as sponsoring races that are gender-specific, and there's prize money. And we hope to continue to do those things with the support of the local and federal government as well to allow us to really grow the sport. There's a lot of opportunity. It could be a career path for some people, but we are very much in its infancy, and we're hopeful that, with psychology breaking up these types of events and maybe other cycling clubs as well, that there'll be more interest. We also need to work to dispel some of the myths surrounding cycling. So some women think that cycling could affect their facility, or they believe that they'll bulk up and have thunder thighs, which is not true. So we really there has to be a lot of engagement with the women that are interested, and we need to continue to do some of those programs like today, where we have women just coming out and participating.
Yeah, Adela, okay, we want to thank you so much for joining us this morning to talk about this. We can't wait for it to happen on Saturday and see how many women want to take up the sports at a professional level. Thank you. All right, we'll be back after this short break.
Take, pull. One, two.
Eight, four.
Nine, 10.
Go.
11-4. Game and match to offshore.
Eleven, 9. Third game and match 3-0. Six, 1. 12-10. Game and match to you. You win 3 games to 2.
One, two. Three, 2.
Two, 3.
13-11. Game to John and Lee. 11-9. Game to
Welcome back. Of course, I mentioned earlier that we'll be talking about Aruna Quadri, and he has made history becoming the first African to reach the quarterfinals of the World Table Tennis Contenders Series. I mean, Aruna Quadri, we know how fantastic it's been at the Olympics, what it's done over the years, but this summer is another record for him at the World Tour Table Tennis Contenders Series. He wasn't the only one that started it. I mean, we have, our young girl actually started with him, but he just couldn't make it into the main draw. But Haruna is still there, flying Nigeria flag.
It's
big,
got his work cut out. Several good players at the WTT in Qatar. The Chinese guys are still there. The guys from Taipei are still there as well.
And all the top seeds haven't crashed, they're all there.
Exactly. We'll get into the business end of the competition, and
later today.
If you can get up to the semis, I think we'd have done very well.
Yeah, of course. That's record.
That's it.
All right.
Anyways.
Okay, we'll leave that now and go over to MPFL. But before that, we have another guest that will be joining us. Seun Ajidagba will be joining us, talk about the MPFL, Nigeria Professional Football League. There's so many games this weekend. All the games, interestingly, I mean, the big one, we talked about the Kano Pillars and, of course, Rangers International. Seun, it's good to have you join us. Good morning. Okay, we'll just take a look at the fixtures before we go back to Seun. Rivers United and Jigawa Golden Stars. You have the Imba and Ifeanyi Plateau United and MFM. Okay, good one. Nasarawa United and Lobi Stars, they will also be in action. Flip over to other games. talking about the other games for this weekend.
Yeah, there's
where
also
you have
Katsina versus Sunshine Stars. There is Adamawa United versus Dakada. Dakada having won 2 games in a row, coming back from a goal and 2 goals down in those matches. We also have Canopilas taking on Rangers. That was the start game of match day 14, no doubt whatsoever. Heartland versus Abia Warriors, some derby right there in the east. Wiki Tourists will host Kwara United. The league leaders, can they maintain their lead at the top of the log? We'll find out after the match on Sunday. Last but not the least is Warrior Wolves taking on Aqua United.
High-flying Aqua United.
High-flying?
Flying,
Really?
I mean.
High-flying?
Yeah, they've had decent results, and for Warrior Wolves, they couldn't get all 3 points against AIM, but so it's going to be a tough one for them when you have Aqua United coming on, because those guys know how to score good goals.
Very motivated as well.
Very, very well motivated. That's the word. All right. Sheun, good morning.
Good morning, Cecilia.
Same with you. How you doing? It's good to have you join us this morning.
Pleasure joining you guys. And maybe you just allow me to just drop my 2 cents on Aaron Okodri. He's a guy that I saw grow in that geometric progression. You know, milestone achievement, getting to the quarterfinal of the tournament in Qatar. I don't also forget that he's the first African and first Nigerian to get to the quarterfinal of the Olympics. And we must give credit to the man who is blazing the trail. More power to the elbow of Aaron Okodri. Maybe let me just throw this in. University of Lagos product, and so we are very excited about him. More power to your elbow, Aaron Okodri, as you continue to fly the African flag, not only the Nigerian flag.
Great one. All right, games for this weekend. Which one will get you talking? I know Canopilas is a big one any day. You also have Plateau United taking on MFM, who is trying to see if they can finish in the top 4.
Cecilia, the interesting thing about the MPFL this season is there is a lot of twists and turns. One game that is also exciting, don't rule it out, is the game of Adamawa. Adamawa is yet to lose in their last 2 matches. Surprisingly to everyone, they defeated Lobby Stars and then went to Sunshine, where we have the Oracle coaching them, Benga Ogumbote, and picked a draw, which was surprising to everyone. And I think that momentum might continue with Adamawa United, that we know currently are playing what we call matches, preparing them for the NNL, because it's going to be difficult for Adamawa United to survive that relegation drop. You mentioned Plateau United against MFM. It's also going to be an interesting game. MFM have an interim coach, Olalekan Gabriel. He's done well in the matches that he has handled. Aside from the loss against Canopilas, which came in the extra time of the game, they've been able to, get some points. Their last game was against Nasarawa United on Monday, very difficult game. And they are playing against Plateau United, who represented us on the continent, but got knocked out in the preliminary round. Things have gone south for Plateau United, that are coached by somebody that I respect so much, Audu Maikaba, but some of us like to call him Audu My Soccer. But things are not, falling in place. Their last game they played at home against Rivers United, it was a no victor, no vanquish. I'm playing against an MFM team that went to Katsina to get a result before coming home to beat Nasarawa United. You want to think that that momentum is still with MFM. MFM might go there and get a result, no doubt. Canopilas are not in a good place as we speak. Their coach, we are still waiting for what the LMC are going to do about him. The foreigner that they have, based on what happened against Dakada, where he was clapping for the center referee, which for us, we feel is a slight dig on the center referee. They raced into a 2-goal lead, but Dakada are proving to be like comeback kings, came back and won that game by 3-2. The same thing they also did in the game they played in the midweek, where they defeated Wiki Tourists. They had to come from a goal down to win by 2-1. So I feel that Rangers are playing against Canopilas. It's a battle between 3rd and 4th. Canopilas are 4th on the log, and the Rangers are 3rd on the log, but they are tied on the same point. And you have to give credit to the job Salisu Yusuf have done with the Flying Antelopes. So you want to think that this game looks like a game that is delicately poised and might end in a draw. I'm looking out for them. Rivers United, they started like an house on fire, but the fire seems to have gone down. The likes of Fortune Omoniwari, Godwin Aguda, but the incident that has happened in time past, remember they lost scandalously against Akwa United 3-0 in the last MPFL game, and we got news so rife that some of their players have been suspended. Coincidentally, they were former Imba players, Ifeanyi Anemina, and of course the goalkeeper, Tiflos Afelohi. They did not come out with what exactly they did, but they said they've been suspended indefinitely. So things are not falling in place for Stanley Eguma at Rivers United, like I said, who started like an house on fire. And so on that premise, I think that they need to just galvanize themselves and get back to winning ways. Else, more problem. But we have always seen Stanley Eguma to be that cat with 9 lives. He's one of the longest serving managers in the MPFM. In actual fact, I stand to be corrected, he's the longest serving manager in the MPFL, and he has traveled this road severally. And when I mean traveled this road severally, I mean that he has been in these critical positions before where the team is touching and he just rejigs and then gets back to winning ways. I hope they can get better this weekend.
I hope they can do that too. Okay, quickly, let's listen to Abdul Makaba, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's mentioned how Plateau United, they haven't done well at all. This is not how they planned the season was going to be for them in the second half of the log. A lot of expectations are on the coach Mike Kaba. The last home game against Rivers United, they needed a penalty for Ibrahim Mustafa to get the equalizer and just secure 1 point. And questions are being asked: can they still go ahead and qualify for the continent? Can they go ahead and challenge for the title? For Mike Kaba, he believes it's still very early days and they still have enough games to play to make up the points and perhaps climb up the table. Of course, he's expecting a very tough game as well against MFM on Sunday.
Team matches, a team can give you a gap of 7, 8, 9 points. Why not, out of the remaining 20 games or 20-something games, you do the same? So I believe we are still on course, and I believe we have the quality. We'll get there. We'll rectify it at home on Sunday by special grace of God. Our next game is on Sunday. They are not a bad side, and more especially away from home. We observe all their results. They are a difficult team, but we'll make our plans and make sure we get the 3 points.
It's all about getting 3 points on Sunday against MFM.
They can't afford another draw.
No, they can't afford it. That will not be a good result at all.
Because their position right now, as you mentioned, 13th on the log.
Second half of the table.
13 games, 16 points.
Yeah.
That's Plateau United we were talking about.
That's just a little over 1 point a game. You know, it's not good enough.
That's crazy.
Anyways, but inside, there's still a lot of games to play, and they will find a way to make up the points and climb up the table. Let's go down, not up.
Not up. The most important league in Nigeria, right? Okay. That's as you guided it, because that's what supplied the top flights, and of course most of the players and all that.
Fair enough. Okay. All right, let's go, and there's some very good teams there as well. 2 teams, traditional side trying to come up. Shooting Stars, for example, Bendel Insurance, they want to get promotion. So
Niger
Tornadoes. So it's going to be a very interesting season. And we have fixtures March Day 5 coming from the 4 conferences, A1, A2, B1, and B2. Cecilia,
let's start with Group A1. Okay. Yes. Okay, the games for March Day 5 fixtures. Oya Sports and EFCC, Rarara and Academy Warriors, Sukoti United and FC Teraba, Aklosendi and Mighty Jet to be in action. Gombe United and Green Beret is another team. They're another game that will be played also. A2, that's where you have Shakarau and Zamfara will be in action. Kogi United and Yobe Desert Stars, ABS and Kebbi United, Niger Tornadoes and Molumfashi and Road Safety and DMD will also be in action. Move over to Group B1. And in Group B1 in the Southern Conference, where you have Osun United and Vendreza FC, Ekiti and Nnewi United will also be in action. You also have Calabar Rovers and Nilayot. That's a very, very new team. Nilayot will also be in action. And then you have Go Round and Dynamite Force. You also have Giant Brillas and Delta Force, Stationary Stores and Shooting Stars. I think Stationary Stores and Shooting Stars will be the game that will definitely get us talking because of, you know, the rivalry, and also not just rivalry, because these clubs are traditional clubs and all that, but right now you're having them, well,
in
of
second
course,
tier of Nigerian
second tier, and
football
Stationary
for a long
Stores is like they're comfortable right there in second tier, but Shooting Stars obviously are not comfortable. So let's move over to B2. And B2, you have Jay Atete and Joy Comments. They'll be in action. Apex Crane and Bendel Insurance, another traditional team that's supposed to be in top flight, but they've been in NLL. Remo Stars and Gateway is another team we'll be looking at. You also have Ibom Youth and Holy Arrows, One Rockets and Abia Comets, and of course, Godoski and Bayelsa United are the games for this weekend. Sheon, I mean, I mentioned Stationary Stores and Shooting Stars, and no, that's the one that you definitely want to talk about, knowing that these clubs, I mean, the history, it's something that almost every Nigerian who has been following the league know and understands.
They call them flaming. That's Stationary Stores. And for 3SC, you can't take anything away from them. Like I've always said that if there is a team that understands this terrain very well, it has to be 3SC. They go down and they come back to the NPFL, they go down again. So they know how to navigate this difficult road, because I've always said that the NNL is very, very difficult, synonymous to the championship, where you have lots of teams just jostling for maybe 3 slots. So for 3SC, they've been doing well. They started like an house on fire. We are rooting for them to come back because they are traditional teams, same as Stationary Stores. Another team that is really catching my fancy, maybe because of the razzmatazz and everything that they bring to the table, is Van Dresa. The only team in the MPFL that is a Lagos-based team is the MFM team. So a lot of people are saying, we wouldn't mind to have other Lagos-based teams so that we can have lots of them play their football in the top flight league. But like I said, the Stationary Stores game and 3SC brings back some memories, and I hope it goes well for the two teams.
Okay. All right, let's leave that and go to the English Premier League, right?
Yeah.
That's our next stop.
Yeah, that's our next stop.
Okay.
And, the big, okay.
What happened last night?
Yeah.
Liverpool, what's happening? Jurgen Klopp, I mean, you need to ask the man what's happening. He's working alone, as you said.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a bit confused.
He's working alone right now.
Doesn't
Doesn't understand what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. This small run continues on for Liverpool. Our results are from yesterday. Tottenham 1-0 over Fulham. Similar scorelines. All the away teams winning 1-0 away from home. But of course, Liverpool and Chelsea will get us talking. And that was a big match. And Chelsea still yet to lose a game under Thomas Tuchel.
10 now.
Magical strike from Mason Mount. And for Klopp, of course, he's a very, very disappointed guy at the moment. While for Thomas Tuchel, he's, of course, very delighted that Chelsea are firmly back in the race for the top 4, which is Chelsea's #1 target this season. At this point, Timo Werner thought it given Chelsea the lead.
Of course.
But VAR reviewed it, and it was marginally
offside. It took a while.
Yeah, because it was so tight.
It was so tight.
That's the main reason. And eventually, Chelsea, this guy stepped up. Mason Mount received a lot of stick while playing under Frank Lampard. Chelsea fans didn't understand why this guy plays a lot. But new coach is coming now and still takes him a lot.
Because, I mean,
he's a good player. It's as simple as that.
When you're watching Chelsea play, usually he's the guy that you know that, yes, he's going to go out and try as much as possible to score. Yeah. I know Chelsea fans really don't like the kind of formation or whatever, the style of play that Thomas Tuchel has decided to employ. But Sheon,
what's there not to like?
That's, I mean, I've heard losing. I'm just wondering why they don't like it. That's the thing, they don't like it. But then it's giving results, and what you want is play badly and get results. That's, I mean, once you get the results, how you play doesn't really matter. But we need to go on a break now. When we come back, we'll be getting reactions from Jurgen Klopp and Thomas Tuchel. And of course, Sheon will react to this game.
All right, Jurgen Klopp visibly disappointed with that result. Sheon, Let's just come to you for your thoughts on this game. Liverpool for long periods, 68 games as a matter of fact, didn't lose at Anfield. All of a sudden, they can't seem to buy a win. 5 straight losses now. It's the first time it's ever happened in the history, and they don't look like they're going to come out of this rut anytime soon with the way they've been playing. Just 10 points from 11 games in 2021.
It's surprising to know that the defending champion are not pulling their weight. Like I've always said, defense wins you championship and goals wins you matches. The strikers are not even scoring the goals. The likes of Firmino, Salah and Mane, things are not falling in place for them. The creative spark that you always see in the midfield, likes of Jordan Henderson, likes of Wijnaldum, even the acquisition from Bayern Munich, Thiago Alcantara, you know, they are not dropping those passes. And you might want to say that they are missing their regular centre-backs, the usual suspect, the Virgil van Dijk, the Joel Matip, you know. So, but the honest truth is to see that a Liverpool side who have made Anfield their fortress are now, you know, falling like a pack of cards, losing 5 straight matches. The last game that they lost at home, for me, that was like the first time they'll be losing 4 straight matches since 1923. Which was surprising to a whole lot of people, that Liverpool, the way they play, and you know the style of Jurgen Klopp, you can't run away from that style. That style is really taking a toll on the players as we speak. They call it the Gege pressing. That means you press high up top, and the players are beginning to, you know, feel the heat. They seem to be looking jaded, and they can't really galvanize themselves to get results. For Thomas Tuchel, we never saw this coming. This was someone who took over the job when Chelsea was in 10th position, and as we speak, they are back in the 4th position. Champions League space looking like they're going to get it, and he's unbeaten in 10 in all competitions. He's really gotten the best out of the boys. Even those that we thought were already frozen out of the team have been brought back. The Cesar Speculator, the captain of the side, the Marcos Alonso, you know, Mason Mount that a lot of people castigated. And this whole thing makes Frank Lampard look so bad that if he were to still be in the position of the Chelsea job, maybe we'll have been talking about Chelsea flirting with relegation. But as we speak now, you can't rule out Chelsea from getting a Champions League ticket. And I say that the team has really done well, except for Kai Havertz, who has not really gelled with the team, despite expending so much money on him, and maybe Timo Werner, who is still trying to get goals. But in spite of that, like we always say, result beget insult. At this quickie bomb time, it's not how well you play that matters, but results. 3 points.
Yeah, for Thomas Tuchel, he's had a very great start to his career as Chelsea manager. Just 2 goals conceded in 10 games in all competitions. The last manager to do this was Jose Mourinho. So it's great company to definitely be in. Before we go, Shell, we have some big games across Europe this weekend. Of course, I don't think there's anyone bigger than Manchester United taking on Manchester City. Of course, the guys in Madrid will tell you Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid definitely is a big one as well too. There's also Lazio versus Juve. Juventus cannot afford to drop points again if they don't want Inter Milan to run away with the title. 6 points lead at the top over Milan at the moment. Let's talk about Manchester United and Manchester City. City, of course, 21 games wins in a row, unbeaten in 28. So all they know how to do is win, win, win. On the flip side, Manchester United, all they know how to do, especially in big games, is draw, draw, draw. How's it going to be this time out?
Well, objectively speaking, the way City are playing, not even having a focal point in Jesus and Sergio Kun Aguero starting sometimes. Sometimes he might decide to go for Raheem Sterling to be the first 9, Ike Hondohan, Kevin De Bruyne. These guys are brewing with confidence. They've not lost in 2021. They're scoring goals with reckless abandon. They're taking teams apart, 21 games unbeaten, even trying to chase the record of Real Madrid, chasing the record of Ajax, who got 27. United is standing in their way, like you rightly said, aside from West Ham, who United beat at the Bowling Ground. Every other team that they've played against has been a draw. So you want to say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how to just pick draws in those big games. but it's going to come very difficult. Don't forget that last season, United defeated these guys at the Etihad Stadium. This season, they've met twice. One in the Carabao Cup, which they decimated Manchester United to get to the final. And now they met in the league also, which was ended in a goalless draw. I think that this game looks like a game that can end in a draw. Just very quickly, the game we talked about last year against Juventus cannot afford any slip-up because it's looking like Inter's title to lose. The last game was shocking to everyone, drawing against Chievo Verona. But you can be rest assured that Cristiano Ronaldo once again will come to the party. He's done 20 goals in 12 seasons consecutively. This guy is not just a human being. I mean Cristiano Ronaldo. So I'm tipping Juve to beat Lazio. Another game that catches my fancy is Borussia Dortmund to face Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena. It's going to be a very tough game for Dortmund, but I think Bayern will still come out unscathed. And for the Madrid derby, Atletico cannot afford any slip-up because Barcelona are breathing down their neck. In Barcelona, we thought that they are not playing well. All of a sudden, Barcelona are doing the unthinkable. Won Sevilla in a space of 4 days by 5 goals to nothing. They upturned the 2-0 deficit in the Copa del Rey in the midweek, and so they are playing so well. So they know that both teams will cancel each other out, but if they take advantage, they'll be closing on Atletico Madrid. So I see the Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid game ending in what looks like a draw.
All right. Indeed. We'll see how it pans out. We'll come back and give you all the results on Monday. But before we go quickly, Nigeria's Israel Adesanya is going to be in action on Saturday. That's a UFC 259. Is going to be taking on Jan Blachowicz as a light heavyweight title fight. He's aiming to become just the 5th fighter in UFC history to hold 2 titles simultaneously. Of course, that's the tail of the tape, and we are rooting for the last style bender to get the job done.
We can't wait for it to happen. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbedu. Have a fantastic weekend.
I am Tai Salam. Enjoy the rest of your day.